Hello my friends, I have a really cool update today. Got into something really cool yesterday that I want to share with you. I'm back on the trail of putting together this old Harmony Stella H1141 small jumbo-bodied guitar that I've had on hold for literally 2 years or more. And so I'm back on the trail, back on the repair of it, and I did something really sweet yesterday, and that was to make a journey up into Vermont to visit Jake Wildwood and work in his shop to put this thing back together and move the project along, which we did. I did not film being in his shop very much at all. I didn't film him, I didn't film the whole process at all, but I took photos and small little videos, and I'm excited to share with you because I'm super excited to also play this guitar. I really want to put this thing together. I don't have the guitar with me right now because it is still at Jake's, as you will see in the picture. So first, I want to show you, bring you back to where this guitar project left off, because I didn't even actually share the putting the top on the body that I had done, and then of course taking the top off again because I wasn't happy about it. So here's some footage of me putting the top on and then me taking it off as well. So this was back in 2021, and I had done the X-bracing. You can see in prior videos that whole process. I documented gluing the braces and everything up until this point. But here we're trying to put the top onto the body as a permanent fixture. I had manufactured my own spool clamps. I didn't have a bandsaw or something to make the spools actually perfectly square, so they are a little bit wonky, but hey, that's what you get when you're doing it on your own and it's your first time. They work just fine. So this is a 1949 Harmony Stella Mini Jumbo, and it is referred to as the figure 8 body style. I love this body style, and I'm super excited. This one's in really rough shape, but soon more updates to come. I actually have 2 others in this same body style. Don't know how it happened, but they fell into my possession. So this process was really fun. It's exciting because you're up against the clock because the glue's gonna dry, and you have 15 to 20 minutes to get it done. So it's kind of a rush. It's a rush to get done. Especially if you're doing it for the first time. This is the first time I'd ever done it. It's also a rush because it's a big moment to put the guitar back together. So it turns out that I kind of made this project a little harder on myself than I had to, because I took the top off. And putting the top back on is pretty challenging, and it's not as forgiving as the back. In the end, I did not put it back in a way that I was fully satisfied with. Now that I know a little bit more, it's never going to be exactly perfect, but this was it was enough imperfect for me to be really not happy about it. And so once I was done, I had a decision to make. I ultimately realized that I just wasn't gonna be happy with it being so off. And so I took the top off again. I heated it up with an iron, putting a towel on the top and then heating it up with an iron. And then with my spatula, I literally cut back into my glue job and took the whole thing apart. and that is where it had left off back in 2021. I took the top off and got a little bit discouraged once it ultimately came off. There it is. I haven't even inspected it yet, so I need to... Oof. It's kind of ugly. Yikes. I have a lot of work to do. Oh boy. We're just going to put that back there. And I'm going to deal with that another time. So, here we are. And I contacted Jake Wildwood, and he was game for me to come up and work in his shop a little bit. I have to thank my friend Kevin Crossett for giving me that idea, because Jake is cool like that. And so, called him up. He was game. Headed up to Vermont. The journey took me along the White River, and it was absolutely beautiful. Had a wonderful drive, as you can see here, cruising the roads on a beautiful sunny day. and made it all the way up to Wildwood Flower in Rochester, Vermont. So when I arrived, the place was very busy. There was a lot of people in there, and he was the only person tending to everyone and talking to folks about instruments and giving them their instruments that had been repaired. And so he kind of welcomed me in, and I went into the shop and started getting set up. And then he set me to task on, scraping the excess wood off the top that came off when I pulled it off. And so I worked with some chisels and a rasp and smoothed out all the edges till we were satisfied. Then I sanded the rim of the back as well, made sure everything was flat. And once everything was flat, we put this thing together. And it was quite a challenge. It was really actually validating to have, Jake acknowledge that putting this top on was quite a challenge. Here it is in all its clamping glory. He has a lot of projects going on, so you can see this is a mixture of all kinds of clamps. And it's in good shape now. Presently, it is sitting in his shop right now like that. He'll probably take those clamps off today, which is the next day after I was there, and stash it away in the guitar case that I left up there for the next time I can get there. So that was really a huge step in the direction of finishing this guitar. So excited. And also, in the meantime, while he was busy and I was in between tasks, he kind of set me up working on the neck of this guitar, which is really in bad shape, but I'm going to keep it as original as possible just for kicks. So what he had me do here actually first is we dropped in the fret, the 13th fret that I had removed to take the neck off. I filled that with dust and glue, and then I put some super glue along both sides of all the frets because they will move when you're trying to file them down. They're just, the board is so brittle. I can't remember if I shared how brittle it is last time, but it's just not in good shape. Here it is with a lot of metal dust in between the frets because I was leveling the frets. And then I crown and polished them. So all the frets are in fantastic shape. They look like brand new now. Another thing he had me do was, and I was totally into, was install side dots. That was really cool. Very simple to do. Much simpler than I had imagined. Another thing I was able to do was to make a new bone nut. The nut on this guitar was probably ebony. It was wooden. And so we used a nut blank and swiftly, very swiftly, which was amazing, made a nut, and I established the nut slots, and later I'll adjust the height to those slots. And also the tuners that were on this guitar were really cheap, and as you can see, it has had numerous tuners put on it over the years. And Jake had a set of 50s Harmony tuners that's more period correct. Here's the fretboard. You can see the chip out on that 13th fret, and you can see the cracks running down the fretboard as well. We filled those cracks in the same way that we filled the 13th fret slot, and the new tuners, or the new old tuners. I was able to file all the frets down without ruining the painted on fret markers there. As you can see, we have the fret dots. Really exciting. So all in all, what a productive day. I mean, one day in the shop, we moved this project forward in many different ways. I left there walking on air. I'm planning on going back in a couple weeks. Gonna have more updates for you. Can't wait to play this guitar. Can't wait to do more work on it. Maybe I'll be able to do more video when I'm up there next time. And super grateful to Jake. And met some really cool people up there. People in and out of that store all the time. And the guitars he has up there, I got to play a bunch of different cool guitars. And although I didn't have that much time, I spent most of my time just getting my work done. So maybe we'll do some more playing another time. But that's my recent update. I'm really excited. Thanks so much for watching. Can't wait to share more with you later. Take good care.